Alrighty, to wrap up this concept of writing equations of lines, we need to go over how do you write the equation of a line in slope-intercept form if I'm given 2 points. So I don't know the slope yet, but I can use our idea of the slope formula. So remember, subtract the y's over subtract the x's. I can use that to first find the slope. So let's do that. Let's find what our slope value is. So I got m equals, I'll take 11 minus 2 over negative 8 minus 4. 11 minus 2, that's going to give me, 11 minus 2, that's going to give me 9. Negative 8 minus 4, that's going to give me negative 12. So my slope simplifies to negative 3/4. So now that I found my slope, I can find the equation of the line. So the first thing I'm actually going to start with is point slope form. So it doesn't matter, because I've got 2 points here. It doesn't matter which point that I use with point slope form. So I'm going to show you that. If I use point slope form with 4, 2, if I use it with that point, I'm going to take y minus the y coordinate equals my slope times x minus the x coordinate, which is 4. So then if I distribute my slope on the right-hand side, I'm going to get y minus 2 equals negative 3/4 x, and then negative 3/4 times negative 4, well, that's going to give me positive 3, because if you'll see over here, you got negative 3/4 times negative 4, that's going to give you positive 12 over 4. 12 divided by 4 is going to give you 3. Okay, so all I have to do to close this out is add 2 to both sides. If I add 2 to both sides, the equation of this line is going to be y equals negative 3/4 x plus 5. So that's the equation of the line. And let's double check now that if I use point slope form with the other point, that it's going to give me the same answer. So I've got y minus the y coordinate, which is 11, equals my slope times x minus negative 8. So that's going to become x plus 8. So then after I distribute negative 3/4 on the right-hand side, I'm going to get y minus 11 equals negative 3/4 x, and then negative 3/4 times 8. If I do that over off to the side, that's going to give me negative 6. So negative 3/4 times 8 is going to give me minus 6. To close this out, I add 11 to both sides. So I'm going to get y equals negative 3/4 x plus 5. Well, that's the same exact thing that we found in point slope form with the other point. So it doesn't matter what you do. It also doesn't matter if you use slope-intercept form. If you use that idea y equals mx plus b, so I'm going to do this twice. First with 4, 2. So if I plug in 2 for the y, my slope was negative 3/4. I plug in 4 for the x, and then my variable is the b. Well, if I simplify that, negative 3/4 times 4 is negative 3. Add 3 to both sides, so 5 is equal to b. So I would get y equals negative 3/4 x plus 5. Okay, and then just to verify it, just to double check everything, let's now do it with the other point. So I got 11 in for y. My slope is negative 3/4. I plug in negative 8 for x. My variable is b. If I simplify that, negative 3/4 times negative 8, that's going to give me positive 6. And then if I subtract 6 from both sides, 5 equals b. So the equation of that line is y equals negative 3/4 x plus 5. So you'll notice, guys, it does not matter which method you use to write this equation. I don't care. You can use slope-intercept form. You can use point slope form. As long as you show your work, you're being careful with your pluses and your minuses, and you're careful with your distributing and all that stuff, you should be good to go. Okay, so in this next one, in this final practice problem, do that and then find the equation using any method. Use point slope, use slope-intercept form, use either point, I don't care. Just make sure you're doing it correctly. So try out this practice. Alrighty, so there's the work for this last practice problem. I showed all 4 different methods with all the different ways that you could do it. All you have to do is pick one and stick with it. So if slope-intercept form is working for you, do that. If you like point-slope form, do that. Just know in future videos, I will most likely use point-slope form, but as long as we're getting the same answer and as long as you're showing all your work, I don't care. So that's going to wrap up this video. Make sure you ask me questions if you got it. Other than that, be safe, be good.